Salute, Knicks Nation. The streets are buzzing tonight. The Knicks take game 1 of the Eastern Conference first round matchup against the Sixers. Today was a gritty performance from these Knicks, closing it late, getting big time threes from Josh Hart, OG Anunoby. But earlier in the game, when backs were to the wall, it was Deuce McBride stepping up like he's stepped up all season long. And the Knicks take the victory in game 1 with the momentum now on our side. Shout out to the crowd. Shout out Knicks Nation. This is what we do this for. And what a gritty performance, right? Some players didn't play their best ball, but we got it done. Let's chop it up now with the best chat in the biz. Let's go Knicks. Game 1 in the books. 111 to 104. Man, catching our breaths worldwide as the Knicks on national TV took game 1 and hold home court, man. And it was a gutsy performance. We needed to really close it out late when it was tight, right? Jalen Brunson did not have his game going tonight. We'll talk about him, but his teammates, right, his brothers picked him up, right? And it was a big performance from Mitchell Robinson, right, who I called an X factor heading into this series. Many people wrote Mitch off, right? And no doubt people are going to be jumping on the Mitch bandwagon now and the Mitch hype train, right? But I always kept the faith, right? Because they don't teach size right now. And Mitchell Robinson took advantage, right? Right. Who would have thought that he would have been given the bulk of the minutes over Isaiah Hartenstein heading into this game? But sports, basketball can be a funny game sometimes, right? And Mitch was the starting center heading into the season for a reason, right? When he is closer to healthy, his impact, man, it needs no doubt to be left, guys. But shout out the best chat in the biz. Buzzer beater in the building. London, what's up? Will, Gerard, let's get it. Let's get it, fam. Really critical win. Obviously, you don't want to lose game 1. And I'll start by saying, game 1 is always the filling out process. And I said this last year. It's the easiest game for the road team to steal, right? Because, right, it's a lot of paper talk heading in. Who's going to, match up on who. But the first game is the first game without any real adjustments, right? And we saw tonight was a back and forth affair. I'm still a little ticked off that the Knicks really let Philly back into it after a great second quarter. One of our best quarters of the season, right? Where Deuce McBride and Bogdanovic and Mitch completely changed that ball game, right? And I'm going to spin this as a positive because, right, with players not having their best game, we still got it done. And that was my key to the series was with the New York Knicks depth, right? When Philly punch us with their big cats, when we punch back, we've got more depth, right? And the bench unequivocally won the minutes tonight for the New York Knicks. Deuce McBride stand up, right? Leon Rose looking more pretty by the day, right? Investing in Deuce, but all the credit in the world to Deuce McBride, right? He helped us win this ball game, right? When the Knicks were down double digits, right? And to get up by 14 and then a Kyle Lowry run, credit to the Sixers, they stuck with it. Kyle Lowry is frustrating as he is playing against you, right? I thought we gifted them a couple of those buckets in that comeback. One was Hart fouling Lowry, and the other one was DiVincenzo just throwing the ball in the inbounds. But I still kept the faith. I didn't think the Knicks were going to lose this one, but it was closer than you hoped, right? But this is what legends are made, where legends are made, and where heroes step up. And no doubt, Mitchell Robinson, right, after we're giving out the grades and the game balls, we're going to continue to shout out Mitch's feet because, right, to step in what he did in big-time minutes, guys, was unbelievable, right? Absolute grit. Even grabbing that rebound and really, it was a foul on Embiid, not a jump ball as well, guys. But great that, Jalen acknowledges his team. And Deuce, you're spot on with that, fam. And buzzer beater, A triple plus for Deuce McBride. Dial it up, fam. Like Josh Hart was dialing up threes today. Salute Will. Mitchie, stars in their roles. Yep, awesome. So proud of these guys. We win as a team and we lose as a team, right? And without Randall, with Brunson's season, right, it's not possible still without the role players stepping up as well. And look, OG hitting that big shot. Shout out to Brunson, who did kick the ball as well and made probably his best play of the night, right? And I think, Jalen would have come in, obviously would have, come in full of confidence. But credit to Philly's D, their length, their physicality did no doubt bother Brunson as well. But Brunson just had an off night, right? But the Knicks rebounded really well, guys, 66 to 41. And that's where the early edge, I feel, lies with the New York Knicks now with two healthy centers. And we're going to talk about Joel Embiid's injury, who came back in the second half, didn't look as good as he did in the first half. There's no doubt about it. And look, the health of Embiid is going to be a huge factor for the rest of this series, guys. Shout out G-Man, Nate, Jose, what's up? Stillman. Let me know your keys to the game, man. We shout you out here. I'm going to continue to give out my thoughts, and let's give out these game balls. But the reboundings was key. Interior defense, Hart getting those rebounds, Mitch's blocks as well. His impact on Embiid was awesome as well. And there's no doubt that it's not 100% Embiid. But look, again, guys that had a down night, I'm confident that they will have an awesome series still and bounce back, right? But 22 points from Josh Hart, big time, right? Tyrese Maxey had a great game, as we knew, 33. Mitchie, 4 blocks. What a standout, man. Jalen with 7 assists. Embiid with 6, right? He had to kick the ball out, right? Hart with 13 rebounds, right? Doing what he's been doing all season long. No surprise to us, fam, Knicks Nation. Huge 22 points from Josh Hart, including 4 of 8 from 3, right? It's funny that not many people had Hart's 3's as an X factor because he's going to get left wide open. We knew that in the Miami series from last year as well, right? When you got to key in on Devo, you got to key in on Brunson, you got to key in on OG. There's going to be that fourth guy that's going to be left open, and Hart was a little hesitant throughout the game, but finished the game like a hero, like he is, man. And shot those shots with no hesitation, man, and hit it. And here we are sitting as victors right now. Shout out to the squad as we take game 1. And I thought it looked comfortable outside of the first quarter. We were better in the second. The third, I thought, was more self-inflicted. Philly did some things to help them get back in the game, no doubt about it. But I felt it was more from us, and I think we can correct that. And we've got a lot of things we can clean up, fam. As London says, we've got to attack Embiid. No doubt about it, fam. NYC ball, what's up? Smash them likes. G-Man says in the building. Shout out to the G-Man. Nick Yak, what's up? Kept the faith with Mitchie and Deuce McBride. Yeah, unbelievable, fam. I'm kind of surprised we didn't see any little bit of Precious tonight as well. Honourable mention to Bogdanovic as well, who had a solid game. Had his normal ups and downs, but was more helpful than not tonight in terms of the second quarter and going 3 of 6 from deep. Those were big plays, and we need some guys to take the shots, not be hesitant. And Bogey caught fire in that second quarter, which helped flip the game on a switch as well, guys. Are you feeling more confident after game 1, right? I am. I really am. And being a realist, I feel like we didn't play our best basketball, and we helped them back into it in that third quarter. Look, Maxey went off for 33. There ain't much more that Maxey can do, right? If he keeps giving them 33, but we keep the other guys in check, then that's going to be great for us, fam. And we got the dogs, Hart. We've sung his praises all season, guys, but we got to start with the man that was being serenaded around the MSG. Deuce, he got loose tonight, man. He gets the clutch badge, gold star for most improved, right? He's the people's most improved player, right? And look out for the national media to hop on right now. He was even, a joke at one point that Brian Windhorst was talking about, not to be disrespectful, but he was referring to Deuce as a guy that Knicks fans were clamoring towards, but Deuce has really stepped it up this season, right? And for him to have this kind of performance on the biggest stage against tough defense, physicality, there leaves no doubt that Deuce McBride has arrived, right, as a quality starter in the NBA, in my opinion. I was clamoring for him to get back into the ball game. Once he got back in, the game changed again, right? He changed the game twice today, getting back into the ball game as well with his defense on Maxey, right? And let me know your grades, fam. I think his impact on the game, whilst not perfect, right, I'm going to upgrade it to A triple plus, right, giving us that impetus to close it out too, fam. G says, yeah, the bench won us the ball game, 100%, man. Brunson's been amazing all season, but just by law of averages, even the best player is going to have a down night at some point, right? But I really liked the look all season when Deuce was playing alongside Brunson, because it allows Brunson to play off ball as a shooting guard, really. And many people think that Brunson's game is basically a shooting guard. He can assist with the best of them, but he is a shooting guard by nature as well in terms of looking for his points. And Deuce McBride playing alongside him gives him that outlet, a guy who can stretch it as well, can handle the ball, bringing it up the court as well. So, I mean, what a way to step up at a time to step up for Deuce, man. I'm so happy. I was, looking at his brother tweeting. His brother Trey McBride on Twitter was absolutely riding and dying with every single bucket that Deuce was scoring, showing him love as well. And the McBride family must be so proud, to see what he's doing, on the bigger stage as well, man. For as much as Lowry gave Philly that punch, Deuce McBride came in and knocked out Philly tonight. I don't think even in their scouting and their planning that Philly could have accounted for Deuce McBride coming in and just being the best player on the court for the New York Knicks over the course of the game as well. And look, that's in our favor because you write off us at your peril, right? And Deuce came in and he got loose, man. Yeah, Nate says, so lucky that we have Deuce tied up for that great contract too. How sweet does it feel, guys, that we drafted this man too and he's developed, right? There was so many points where Deuce wasn't even in the rotation, was a situational player coming into the year. People, had doubts on what his future might be, quickly got traded, and then, things opened up for Deuce, but he took his chance, and he worked on his game. He deserves the love, right? He deserves this from everyone, and in terms of his defense, it's always been outstanding, but he's gotten more steady with the ball as well. We'll look at his stats now. And in terms of his handling of the rock, right? Deuce McBride, no turnovers, so outstanding. 7 of 12 from the field, 58%. 5 of 7 from 3, and both free throws in the can, fam. 3 rebounds, 4 assists as well, and a steal, and a game high, whopping 37 plus, baby. Let's get it. 21 points from Deuce Miles McBride. What a stat line, man. Plus 37 is incredible. That's the first chess move of the season now. But whatever happens from here on out, Philly's going to be, worried about Miles McBride right now in terms of them punching us to begin and us landing a knockout blow for this game today. Because, Deuce McBride came in and they had no answer for him. Not only is he slowing down Maxey, you can't really stop Maxey, but he slowed him down and he hit timely shots, man. Almost the team high scorer as well by just 1 point, right? Even the biggest Deuce fans may not have had this in the script today. This is why we love sports. The underdog story is awesome as well. And look, Miles McBride now, he is a real name that people aren't going to joke about or take lightly, right? Because he has earned that respect right now. Vaughn, what's up? Said it before, we'll say it again. Knicks and J Hart start making those threes and it's game over, fam. Yeah, I like that. Almighty Finesse, what's up? Hart, we're going to hit on Hart in just a minute, fam, but we haven't done something we need to do, and that is coming up right now for Deuce, Miles McBride, man. Game 1, the game ball goes to Deuce McBride, fam. Shout out to anyone who predicted that Deuce Miles McBride would be the best player in this game for the Knicks, and he's deserving of the game ball, game 1. He's been consistent all season. There was really no reason to doubt him, right? I mean, he's done it for a prolonged stretch now, and it came as no surprise to us. But yeah, Deuce McBride hit shots, changed the game, and I'm sure most of us, like myself, in that third quarter, was calling for Deuce to get back into the game, right? Tibbs did it timely. Unfortunately, we were down at that point as well. Doubt was starting to creep in, but we got back into the ball game thanks to this man as well, twice today. And moving forward, he is a guy I've got no hesitation starting now. DiVincenzo will start and continue to start, and he deserves it as well. But if there's any lineup adjustments needing in this series, I think Deuce is going to be the X factor right now too, and as well as Mitchell Robinson, who I also had in my pre-series X factors, fam, as well. Tay Mac says Miles McBride, baby. Yeah, right. This guy won't have to pay for a meal in New York City, I think, after this playoff run, fam. But yeah, tonight he was an absolute warrior and hero, and we're going to shout out the next hero, because yeah, this one was one on grit. Once our offense and we start to click better and take care of the ball, right, I think this series is going to get easier, not harder. And I'm not trying to disrespect Philadelphia. I feel like we have more to give. The bench as well can be more of that factor too. If you just look at our 3 guys off the bench in Bogey, Deuce, and Mitchell Robinson, and what they gave the Knicks tonight as a totality compared to the Sixers bench, right? It's night and day, right? The New York Knicks bench won us this ball game, as well as some heroics from Hart, down the stretch. And we'll talk about that man right now, right? Next up, we'll talk about Josh Hart, fam. Give out your grades with me, fam. And salute to Knicks Nation, Knicks Buzz. Smash that like button. The Knicks take the 1-0 lead in this series, right? And all the talk about the Knicks being an easier matchup and all that, man. You won't hear no one talking about that right now, man. It's go time, right? No more of that foolish talk, right? There's trash talk and then there's foolish talk too. You don't want to disrespect your opponent like that. Talk about matchups. We saw the Chicago Bulls, right, go down in a whimper, fam. But the Knicks are going to continue to fight like they have all season long, and one of this man, in this man, it's embodied what he's brought to this team, right? And everyone's going to get the legacy crown, because as we continue to move along now, this is going to be, I think, a magical stretch in this playoff run, man. And Hart, right, clutch badge, came up clutch. Probably Hart's most clutch game, I think, is a New York Knick, right? We mentioned his stats, man. Hitting those 3 balls, 4 of 8 from 3, 8 of 10 from the free throw line too, right? Shot the most free throws out of any New York Knick. What Hart gives you, right, he's always aggressive, and that is key for us. Early in the game, let's rewind. Hart ran the break, got the Knicks going a little bit, helped us get some easier buckets. Plays 41 minutes. Doesn't look like he's tired as well. So, he's just a machine. Went 5 of 12, but 4 of 8 from deep. Again, that's a game changer, like the chat said. But the 13 rebounds and 4 of them offensive is something that sets him apart from any player in the league. The best rebounding guard in the NBA and the best role player too. He gives you whatever you need, whether it's rebounding, defense, timely shots, getting to the foul line as well. 22 points, right? 2 turnovers as well. Not too much. I'll take it. 2 assists, a steal, -5 from Hart, but 41 minutes. Too, man, he was absolutely massive in this series, and he's a connector as well, right? Some games he can get those assists up, but today he was swishing, guys, right? We hit the lottery with Deuce, and what a signing with Hart too, right? Who would want to do that trade back and get Cam Reddish and a first-round pick back? I don't think there's anyone on the planet that would want to redo that trade all over again. It was a home run, and it's paying off dividends, man. It's going to continue to pay off too. To Die For says, shout out chat CT, do you think it's time to put Mitchie back in the starting lineup due to the matchup with Embiid? Look, it's a real fair question to ask right now. I think you back Hartenstein for another game, and then you can adjust, I think, as the game goes along, fam. Yeah, I don't think there's any need to change the starting lineup just yet. We'll see how things look in game 2, but you're definitely, looking closely at, how Mitch progresses with his conditioning, how he's impacting the ball game, and I make no hesitation bringing Mitch in earlier if Isaiah does struggle with the size too. But yeah, the reason this could be something we see is because Embiid is clearly limited, man. He can't move, and that's being generous, man. The guy he's just a big guy that's just gonna, cheat off of you on defense, and he's just gonna stand near the paint or jump shoot as well. As shares the same sentiment, right? Get Mitchie in there too. Patrick says Deuce has to start. It's the only guy who can kind of stay in front of Maxi as well. Great point. I think again, Tibbs doesn't make lineup adjustments very, easily. But I think something to watch as well moving forward. I think Maxi definitely you need to contain him, right? He had 33 tonight. You think he might have a 40 game in him. I think it's key that Deuce does stick to Maxi like glue as well. And look, if you have to mirror the matchups with a defender, then that's what good coaching is all about, fam. It's about adjusting as well. The same way we talked about OG needing to, to line up on a Giannis or a Tatum, the same way you need to mirror Deuce with Maxi. I agree. And it's no surprise that DiVincenzo struggled a little defensively and offensively. He's going to be maybe a little hit and miss in the playoffs. He might have really, really high games and then some low games as well. But yeah, we got a guy like a Deuce, and we can adjust, and look, Devo's team first, right? He's got no issue. He looked more engaged on the bench too. So that speaks to this squad, ladies and gents, as well. As I just want to refer to this quote, Steph Bondi tweeted this out pre-game. The Knicks have a new slogan outside their locker room: no quit, all grit, close knit, as well. And that's what you're seeing, man. When I referenced that, DiVincenzo looked to be fine on the bench too, right? Whoever had it going tonight. And Batum, Batum had his big game against the Heat. We might not see another one like that, fam. GQ, Knicks in 6, baby. Things are looking good for Knicks in 6. Yeah, that was my prediction for the series. Not going to go Knicks in 5, but yeah, Knicks in 6 looks like it's a big thing, man. We win game 2, we steal one on the road, and then we have a chance to end it in 5. But let's see. So much to play out still. One can't help but just come out of this game thinking we didn't play great. We still won the ball game. We had a chance, to close them out earlier. We let them back in. But Joel Embiid just, doesn't look like he's going to be very nimble, and look, if Mitchie can just hold him down out of the paint, that is advantage New York Knicks, right? No doubt about it, fam. Also, not to toot my own horn, but I've been saying all season that Josh Hart, you bring him in for playoff games, right? He's going to win you playoff basketball games, right? And today he helped us win too, right? You look past some of the ugliness and some of the frustrating plays and the loose balls and all of that, the passes, but what Hart does is just incredible, and not many players are in the league, if any, can get you those 30, 70 balls as well. But Hart was all over it today, fam. He's fired up. The way he was shouting at the crowd too gave me goosebumps, wearing the number 3, John Starks' number as well. Right, he was built for New York City, man. If you don't understand why the Knicks made this trade for Josh Hart with Thibodeau as the coach, right, you don't understand, I guess, playoff basketball, and how much of an impact, right, it is. Patrick says, I agree. Maxey is one of the 3 guards OG can't handle, up there with Fox. Yep, he just gets down so low, and he's just an absolute bullet off the mark as well. But look, my feelings also. Shout out Jarvis in the chat. Salute. We're buzzing right now, smashing that like button. My overarching sentiment after game 1 is that the New York Knicks have more depth defensively. We can out-physical, out-muscle Philly now, with Mitchie starting to look like the old Mitch as well. What Philly's chances are going to be is, look, they're going to have to, hit shots, but Maxey going off, they're going to need to get more help, right? Because the Knicks can turn the water off as well. Philly have to win both games in Philly now. I know that's stating the obvious, but if Philly let one slip in Philly, I think there's blood in the water, and I think the Knicks will close it out in 5 or 6 if Philly can't hold on to both of those home wins. That's key. But I feel like game 2 we'll see a better Brunson. There's no doubt about it. And we're going to shift focus and talk about JB's game as well as the other heroes. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about game 2, the rest of the series. Yeah, appreciate it, Buzzer. Pleasantly surprised by Hart's 3-point shooting today. Yeah, no doubt. One trend I notice with Hart is when he doesn't have time to think, he has to put the shot up. I love to see the shot percentage. It just seems like it has a better chance of going in, fam. Whenever Hart's left wide open, the 3-point shooting obviously isn't great. But when he seems to be under more duress, he has more, likeliness of it going in my opinion, right? You just don't think about it, and you don't hesitate as well. But also, we haven't shouted out Tibbs, right, to coach, game 1. Some things went really well, some things didn't, but he got us the win as well. Good game, well coached from Tibbs, won us some challenges as well. Look, everything they planned for and everything, we executed to the best of our ability, and we got the win, today as well. We hold on to home court, which is big. Because I don't know if you guys know this stat, but Brian Mahoney tweeted this out pre-game. The Knicks have lost the last 3 game 1s where they've hosted the other team. So for the Knicks to break that streak now and take game 1 is big, right? Advantage New York Knicks, especially with Embiid down. Jarvis says, we showed a lot of grit, poise, clutch play. Shout out to the bench. They played great. Helped secure this victory. Let's go Knicks. This needs to carry over to game 2 and solid win. Yep. Great thoughts, man. I think no doubt the player that's going to be the hardest on themselves is Jalen Brunson, right? And we talk about his game now. Brunson, did you guys notice anything different? I thought he, obviously he did force it a little at times, and the length of Philly, and they also brought the help. I think Brunson got blocked 2 or 3 times when a defender from behind him, was able to help on defense. And I thought Brunson was just a little slow making a decision whether he puts the shot up or passes as well. And I think maybe that's just due to a few cobwebs that need to be shaken off. This is the playoffs now. The Knicks had a week rest, and I think game 2, Brunson will bounce back. But he did hit some big shots towards the end. Got to the line, 5 of 6. Got us 7 assists, as I said. Found OG for the dagger. 22 points on a -3, and that's a bad game. 5 turnovers is probably the worst stat line of Brunson today. 8 of 26 doesn't help either, but hopefully he gets more free throws. 6 Free throws, he needs to get that up to about 10. Hart got 10. I think if Brunson's more aggressive, he needs to get to the free throw line and stretch the defense out from Philly. To Die For says Hart's contract's looking brighter by the day. Fam, yep. Playoff basketball is what it's all about. Too, fam. Hidalgo, Deuce, Bojan, Mitch, Hart extremely well, with Brunson having a tough night. Yep, no doubt. And that's what makes us dangerous still, because even if Brunson's missing, best believe he's always going to be the focal point of the defense, and that helps his teammates as well. So that's the key thing to look out for, fam, as well. Usually if one key dog is down, some role players thrive because they're going to get their chance. And look, man, Deuce McBride, once again, right? Game ball to him. We could give out multiple game balls, but I want to keep this one special. I want to keep this for Deuce, right? One game ball tonight. It goes to Deuce McBride because he changed the game in the second quarter. Played well every single minute he was on the floor. Helped us close it out late. Plus 37 is incredible. And Deuce McBride will take today's game ball, game one, man. This will be the Deuce McBride game for me, fam. Despite, these other guys doing stuff, incredible stuff down the stretch. But yeah, man, look, Brunson, I mean, he was clutch last season in the playoffs. Today, I think the length did bother Philly a little bit. And look, got to give Nick Nurse some credit because he's a defensive coach. They had, they would have been eyeing the New York Knicks, with scouting over the last, week or so, even if they didn't know they were going to qualify. But Brunson still gave us 22 points, and we're going to give out his grade right now, right, as we move forward and continue to buzz right now. It's just a beautiful thing to take game one, not play our best basketball, but man, the Garden was insane today, right? It was buzzing, right? And look, think about the crowd for game two. If we can take a 2-0 advantage heading into Philly, where you feel good about your chances of taking one game, then man, that's going to be so key for this series, right? But Jalen Brunson, his grade, his performance, right? You love the 7 assists. You love him getting to the free throw line, being effective there. But I think, we know what he's got to clean up. The 5 turnovers, be a little more aggressive, but continue to move the rock as well. Take care of the ball. Some of the shots were a little forced, a little contested. But look, he's been hitting those all throughout the season. So a win is a win is a win, fam. I hold Brunson obviously to the highest standard too. So I'm going to still give him a B, but nothing more than that. And look, he's only going to go from strength to strength from here on out, fam. And again, he helped his teammates out. We got the dub as well, so shout out to the whole squad, fam. But we're going to hit on Mitchy Rob, right? Because we don't normally flick over to the bench after we haven't done all the starters yet. But we've done Hart, we've done Deuce, we'll do Bogey after the other starters, but Mitchell Robinson was the second biggest story, arguably the biggest story to come out of this ball game today. And look, man, Mitchy, what a heroic performance, man. This will go down as one of the more heroic Knicks playoff performances for so many reasons. 30 minutes, we'll start there. Mitchy hasn't been playing that many minutes coming in at this, let alone at this intensity against an MVP in Joel Embiid as well. Stayed out of foul trouble as well. Got 3 fouls, was a plus 20, 8 points, 7 huge offensive rebounds with 12 total. The blocks, 4 of them, had a block party and some, and 3 of 5 from the field. Man, multiple tip-ins and tip-backs to get us the advantage back. Man, how big was Mitch in this game, man? If I was to give out a second game ball, right, best believe it would be Mitchell Robinson, and I might even be swayed. But like I said, I think Deuce McBride was more impactful for a longer period. But Mitch's impact arguably in that stretch as well, right, was the biggest factor in this ball game. I mean, he was absolutely clutch. We're so grateful that Mitch, is able to contribute, because we don't want to go back too far, but we didn't know if Mitch was going to come back, and people still had doubts over what he was capable of doing. It was a little bit of rust towards the end of the regular season, but man, Mitchie was an absolute warrior today. Probably he's had, what I was going to say is, man, this could be his best game as a New York Knick, given the stakes at it, He hasn't played that many playoff games, He started with his first playoff run against Atlanta. No, he didn't, sorry. We missed Mitch in that Atlanta series against Capella. He had his taste last season. But, look, Mitchie, right, his best playoff game, no doubt about it. And what do you guys think about Mitch's impact, man? What was the biggest standout for you guys, fam? We've got Trini, Jarvis, John in the building. Still Knicks fam. Mitchie's 4 blocks and the tip backs were big, the rebounds, but the defense on Joel Embiid was amazing, man. And yeah, he was a great neutralizer in that matchup too. And again, as I keep saying, people thought about, should we trade Mitch? Should we keep Isaiah only? Or what if we lose Isaiah? I always said it's a luxury to have both of these guys, right? Right. If one guy's in foul trouble or one guy's struggling, the other guy, we have that luxury that other teams don't have, right? And and we saw it tonight in full effect. 30 minutes, Mitch activated. Hart struggled a bit. Mitch came in and dominated, right? Dominated this matchup. It caused more headaches for Philadelphia on the glass as well. Guys, as I said, once again, if you're just coming in, fam, the Knicks won the rebounding. The Knicks won the rebounding 66-41, right? That is huge, absolutely huge for us, man. And look, Mitchie's performance, we're going to give his grade right now, because, man, this one will be remembered as well as a Mitch game and a playoff performance, that he was a hero. 12 rebounds, the 4 blocks, plus 20 in his 30 minutes. What makes it even more special is where he has come from the recovery, the rehab, the rust earlier in the season as well. I mean, this is a huge performance for Mitchie, and I'm going to give him an A++ performance from Mitchell Robinson, man. Nothing else from that. I mean, I'm just so proud right now. A++++. John in the building, salute. Trini, A+ for sure. Yep. Still impactful, blocking shooters as well, blocking, getting to the spots, taking care of the paint as well. Jarvis says, question, CT, do you the Knicks finally get Rokas to be part of the roster? I can see him and McBride playing together with ball and out. Your thoughts? Yeah, I said I could see Rokas earning a roster spot next season, because he's going to come, I think, into Summer League. We heard reports, and also I think he complements Deuce McBride as well together as a tandem if Deuce continues off the bench. Yeah, so that is a low-key addition the Knicks can make, because we have Rokas' rights too, fam. Yeah, good shout. Yeah, Puppy says, what happened to the Sixers paint? 23 offensive rebounds for us. Yeah, look, we exposed them, man. Their biggest weakness is our biggest strength, and that's cleaning the glass, fam. And we saw Miami, who I thought should have put Philly away. Let's keep it a buck. I think if Jimmy Buckets was any resemblance of himself, I think Miami probably would have edged Philly. But look, that's in the past. Philly deserved their spot. They got it done. But yeah, I think that's a clear weakness. I think Paul Reed, fam. Let's pull out some heat for Paul Reed, right? Not that we want to give him much shine, but that guy was talking foolish, and he looks even more foolish right now, man. when back talk backfires on Paul Reed, man, right? Even if he had a good game, it still was foolish. But he did not back up his words, and he got outplayed, right, by our backups. And also Joel Embiid, not at 100%. That's just going to help the Knicks. I mean, if you're Mitchell Robinson and you're Isaiah right now and you're the Knicks, you're going to feel good about your chances of dominating the glass now with Embiid struggling. And I said, the Sixers' depth might catch up to them as the series goes along, and probably will, because Paul Reed is not to the level of a backup as a Mitchell Robinson is, who's a starting caliber big man as well. And like we said, man, Hart's the best rebounder from the guard spot too. Yeah, to die for says Mitchie dreamed about this moment since 2 years ago. Great job, A+. Yep. Don't forget, Mitchie was the OG. He was here for the original rebuild as well, right? The first draft pick to sign an extension, right? RJ Barrett was the first round draft pick to break the extension curse, the Charlie Ward curse, right? But Mitchell Robinson technically broke that curse as well, because he was the first draft pick to get extended from the second round, drafted 36 overall, fam. Once again, shout out to Scott Perry for helping us get that move done. That's paying dividends, man. And I will look back on it too. But for a guy off the bench to get an A++, that is the first of the year for me. It's very, very deserving. And look, yeah, Mitchie, we don't know how he's going to pull up, but I would keep it the same for now. I would keep Mitchie coming off the bench because he can dominate that matchup. And don't forget, when you have Bojan Bogdanovic off the bench, you still need that elite rim protection and a guy who can hold us down. But look, there's no doubt right now he looks like the better matchup for Joel Embiid. And look, Isaiah's done a good job on him throughout the regular season, but this is a different time right now, as we know, fam. They don't teach size, as I said, fam. And Mitchie's coming in all the way at 7'1" with bulk, and he's a brick wall as well. He's one guy that Embiid struggles to move as well if he holds his ground too. And I thought, look, Embiid was bailed out. Like, let's keep it real too. Embiid was bailed out on some of those calls too. He'll continue to hunt for those foul calls. He'll continue to foul hunt, and bait the Knicks in too. Yep. I'm feeling good about Knicks in 6 right now, but look, let's take it game at a time. There was some weaknesses in our game today that I think Tibbs will clean up as well. I've got confidence too. And I think ultimately the biggest blessing is to win a game where you don't play your best, because it's hard for the other team to really pick apart and try to stop what the Knicks did today, because we won it on grit, on depth, all these things that, it's hard for teams to take away. They can scheme on a Brunson, but if other players are beating you, right, there's not much more you can do, right? If you're Philly, you say, look, Brunson had a really down night. We had an awesome scheme, we slowed down Brunson, but it was still not enough. So that's big for the Knicks too, guys. Next up, we're going to talk about OG and Isaiah, and then we're going to talk about Bojan Bogdanovic's game. But for the rest of the starters, fam, OG, how did you see his performance, man? 31 minutes, that's good. Like I predicted, I think he'll play around 35, 30, 38. But today, he didn't need to play too much as well. So he was 5 of 10, solid. 1 of 3, swished the big shot late. 4 rebounds, got us a steal, which converted into fast break buckets as well. So OG is going to get more of that in this series. 11 points, -5 from OG. But yeah, again, he's a Knick who didn't impact the game a lot scoring, but we still won. And so if he has a big breakout shooting performance, then that's going to be even better. But OG was effective defensively, getting the steal, getting out in transition. 1 of 3, You want him to, you want him to get those 3-point attempts up a little bit more. But look, it was Hart. It was the open man, and tonight he delivered. 4 of 8. You know they're going to try to slow down OG and guard him closely, and Hart was the open man, and we devastated them too. NYC spells it out, man. The longer this series drags out, the worse for Joel Embiid. Best believe that, man. It's going to be a grind. It's going to be tough for Embiid. I mean, you saw what happened. Just to recap, Embiid with one of the biggest plays of the game, post up, threw the ball off the backboard, slammed it back down, but fell on a knee awkwardly and, was not the same after that, despite coming back into the ball game after halftime. He went to the locker room in the waning minutes of the second quarter. It didn't look good, but he was able to return. But yeah, I think he was just gritting it out. Embiid wasn't moving well. There was a couple of air balls, a couple of plays where he didn't even try to crash the glass towards the end. Again, I think as long as we don't bail him out, we guard him straight up, hands up, and just wait for him to to try to make a move, and then the help can come. But outside of that, man, if he's just a jump shooter in this series, then I'm cool with that, because I think we got enough, fam. If Embiid is a jump shooter in this series, then that's what we want. I think we've done our job, fam. We can box out and we can crash the glass, to fam. But I'm gearing myself up for maybe Brunson might not have the biggest series, because they are going to focus on him as the focal point. But if other guys beat them, then I'm cool. Right? Brunson's a team player. Right? I'm sure he's going to get those 10 assists in one of these games. Right? But 8 of 26. Right? He's not going to be that inefficient again. Right? And I think he will. Once he finds the 3 ball, that opens up our offense so much, fam. But in terms of OG Anunoby, look, he's always a player where the box score doesn't show the full impact. You know what I mean? And great to see OG in his first playoff game for the New York Knicks. First and foremost, right? So, welcome to playoff Knicks basketball, OG Anunoby, right? A defensive team player, right? In the NBA, today it's an awkward matchup. In terms of finding where OG's best suited. It's not like a Tatum or a Jimmy Butler or someone like a Giannis who is the clear matchup for OG. As you guys are on fire, we said earlier, Maxey isn't a good matchup for OG because he's just smaller and so quick as well. So what OG has to do, I think, is just be that help defender in this series. Stop the dribble penetration, close out. If a guy like a Lowry or a Kelly Oubre starts to get active, but as long as we've got Maxey covered with Deuce McBride, and as long as Mitch is guarding Embiid straight up, then I think we've got our defensive matchups, right? And OG can just be that. He can be deployed as that Swiss Army knife, fam. But look for him to get going with the 3-point ball. Again, they're going to have to. One of these guys is going to start to hit more shots from deep, whether it's Brunson or DiVincenzo, and that's going to open things up for the OG, right? But in terms of his impact, right, and his performance, I'm going to give OG a B. Right? Obviously, there's room for more, but does his job. And again, this might not be the series that we see the full impact of an OG, but man, he is a winning player. Best believe that. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else he can do, because his defense fuels his offense as well. But we're going to win this series, I think, based on our ability to rebound, defend, hopefully push the break, because we need easier buckets. We see how they're guarding Brunson too. As Michael Drake's in the building, salute, Mitchie. I'm so happy. Best game of his career. Yeah, I think it is. Really. prisoner of the moment. But yeah, the grit and the impact Mitchie had makes us all proud in terms of what he can do. I mean, from everything from the double free throw hit, the putbacks, right? When we were floundering, he was there to help us mop up, and also the blocks and the defense on Embiid too, fam. Embiid will not make it out past game 4, says Michael, with Hart and Mitch won't let him too, fam. Yeah. As I said, man, I think if Embiid just jump shoots, he's going to try to protect that knee. Obviously, if you're in Philly's shoes, you want to prolong Embiid's health to be out there as well. But if he's not at 100%, you have to take advantage. Push the break, push it fast as well. Whoever Embiid is guarding, or if he's dropping off, then make him pay with the open man as well. Don't feed into Embiid's strengths, right? If he's just parked under the bucket, right? If you're going to drive straight in to him, right, that's playing into his hands as well. So you want to move Embiid around, stretch him out, swing the ball, get the wide open shooter as well, or the floater game, or the mid-range as well. But to your point, to summarize, I think Embiid will start to wear down throughout this series, and I think it's up to the Knicks to capitalize on that, to take advantage of that too. Just like we didn't with Jimmy Butler. Remember game 1 from last series? I think we've come a long way, fam, and we've got smarter defenders, we've got more IQ on the squad, and I think guys know what they have to do. If their defender isn't checking them properly, I trust Brunson and the guys to get them the rock too. As we're about to hit on Hart and Bogdanovic, right? Some thoughts on Bogdanovic, where he posted up Maxey, right? That was a big play, right? In terms of hunting a mismatch. The Knicks got good IQ. I thought that was a good move. Bogdanovic, was active early, hitting those threes, but a couple of his underrated buckets were the back down post up fadeaway over the shorter guy as well. So Bogdanovic is that threat that they're going to have to match up on, too, fam. And I like what I'm seeing from Bogdanovic, right? If he's dealing with a wrist injury, right, he's given us something decent, and credit to him, right? Credit to him. To Die For says Sixers X Factor is Harris. Dude was held to only 7 points. Hart locked him straight down. If this continues, New York in 5. Well, yep, I agree. Great point. Harris has always been that enigma, man. He doesn't show up when the lights are bright, And I know he's a Long Island native, but his career is just going underwhelmingly, in terms of unfulfilled potential. Maybe there was maybe he was overrated. That is something that's real. Tobias Harris is that third guy for Philly, but he didn't step up too. But this is a series of adjustments too, so you can't rest on your laurels too. Hart's going to have to continue to play great D, and let them shoot jumpers as well. But I'll also add Buddy Hield, fam. Buddy Hield was useless for them as well, too. So credit to our defense again. But yeah, Buddy Hield was not able to get loose, man. It was Kyle Lowry again. Mate, Kyle, the F Lowry gets up for these ball games against the New York Knicks, man. What is it about Kyle Lowry, man? He scored 9 straight buckets to get Philly back into the game, man. We cannot let that happen again, and hopefully we won't, because there'll be a bit of banter going back and forth with the Villanova gang, man. But look, man, we got out. We got out with the dub, and I'm really relieved, but I'm so happy because guys really executed and guys stepped up who have been polarized, and doubted throughout their careers and throughout the season as well. I mean, Hart was one of the longest tenured players to never play a playoff game last season, and here we are. Here he is shining on the biggest stage, with the lights the brightest as well. And look, Deuce McBride, who was, people thought of as the backup to the backup, right? And not only is he's stepping in as a worthy backup, but he's a worthy starter right now too. So credit to the Knicks player development on that. But we'll talk about Isaiah, and then we'll talk about Bogey, right? Isaiah Hartenstein, what did you guys see from him? Obviously, Embiid was more healthy to start the game, and look, that was always going to be the Knicks' toughest matchup of the series, right? Embiid gives anyone nightmares if your name is not Mitchell Robinson, right? But Heart, let's talk about the second quarter and the good stretch he had, because he found a cutting Deuce McBride, cutting Jalen Brunson, right, to help the Knicks give us that spark, right? The Knicks were down at one point in this game, and Isaiah's first half was good, but did struggle after that defensively. In terms of Heart, like his impact rebounding is going to be big still. The fact that we have him, allows Mitch to not have to play plus 30 minutes, because Mitch is still coming back. He's not at his best either. But yeah, Isaiah's 17 minutes went 1 of 4, 5 offensive rebounds with 6 points, 2 blocks, and 3 assists. So not bad for a down night. Fair. Minus 13, but struggled with Embiid in that stretch. But had his impact early still with the 7 rebounds, 5 offensive, and the 3 assists, and the 2 blocks too. This was just the night he didn't have it going. Little bit of foul trouble early. 1 of 4, missed the floater game that he's been money with all season. But look, Isaiah is going to be pivotal to our playoff stretch moving ahead, right? And look, there might be a night where Mitchie isn't the same as he was tonight, and Isaiah will be there to help us as well. So again, we share the load with those two, and it's going to be huge for the Knicks to dominate the glass like we did tonight, man. Shout out to all our bigs, all our guys. 5 offensive rebounds from Isaiah tonight as well, and a 13 in total for Josh Hart too. NYC ball, everyone gets the A for including Burks for cheering. Fam, yep. The camaraderie is real, man. Chemistry is real on this team, man. You love it, right? Buzzer says Lowry was a one-off. Yep. Hopefully today was that one-off, man. 9 straight buckets. He's going to be that pest, though, like a TJ McConnell. But we can use that against him because, like I said with Isaiah, with the backdoor cuts, they overplay you as well, and you got to use that against them, man. With a backdoor, especially with Brunson as well. He could cut, and then he could go backdoor if they're going to overplay Brunson a lot, too. But I'm happy that his guys had his back tonight. The Sandman says, yeah, Ihart had his struggles defensively. With Ihart's game, I'm going to give out his grade. Had his struggles, but had his moments as well, which helped us in the ball game. So it was a mixed bag. I'm going to go B- for Isaiah Hartenstein, and he was not great on Mitchell on Joel Embiid, but lucky we have a Mitch once again to help us, right? And I think Precious Achua probably would have got minutes tonight if Mitch wasn't available or Mitch didn't have it going. I think Precious is that next guy up, right? But let's talk about Bojan Bogdanovic, because if not the biggest reason, one of the biggest reasons we win this ball game is the bench tonight. The bench production. We shouted out Mitch, and we damn shouted out Deuce McBride for their efforts, man. 2 A++s. How did you see Bojan Bogdanovic's game, man? Had 8 straight points in the second quarter when Brunson was sitting. The Knicks were down at that point. Big minutes from Bogdanovic. 4 of 12, though, from the field. Right, was fouled a few times, got to the line 4 times, but was 3 of 6 from deep. Right, and that's what you pay for. That's why we did the trade, for a guy who can stretch it. And he lived up to his end of the bargain in terms of the shooting tonight. did Bojan Bogdanovic, a much needed offensive spark off our bench when things weren't looking great at that point. I was pretty frustrated with the Knicks start, to be honest with you. I think offensively we're out of sync. Obviously Brunson is the engine. He didn't have it going. But timely substitutions from Tibbs at the right time and Bogey and Deuce McBride came to our rescue, right? Mitchie more later in the ball game, I felt, but in the first half, it was clear how good Bogdanovic and Deuce's minutes were, right? And for that, man, Bogey's going to get his grade, right? He was on target today. Not so much clutch, but he was effective from 3. So I'll adjust that. But look, I admire Bogey's fighting through the uncomfort on the wrist. He had a minor procedure done before the series, and I think Bogdanovic tonight still gives me big optimism that he's going to factor into this series a lot. In terms of the shooting off the bench, with him and Deuce McBride, with Mitch protecting the paint, that's tough for the Phillies guards to match up on, and I think he's going to be equally as big of an X factor in this series and for the rest of the playoffs, man. If we get the production from Bogey, and tonight he was 13 points, right, on a plus 27, right? That is huge. 13 points on a plus 27, despite not being efficient from the field, but 3 of 6 from deep, 50%, right? Unlike him, he missed 2 free throws as well, but got a 6 rebounds, right? Sorry, 7 rebounds, 6 of them defensive, 1 offensive, an assist as well. 13 points on a plus 27. I sign up for that all day, right? If we get 14, 15 points from Bogey a game, that's huge for us. That's exactly what we need, as well as Deuce McBride splashing it too with 21. Patrick says, I think B- for iHeart is super fair. Appreciate you. Buzzer says Bogey A-, right? That's a solid grade. I think B-, A-. A depends how you look at it, right? Struggled in parts of the game, but the impact he had when he had it was huge on the outcome of the ball game as well. In that second quarter, too. A lot of A- coming through from Bogey. For Bogey, fam. I like it. Let's go with that. Let's go with that, fam. The consensus wins on that. A- for Bogdanovic. Defensively, it didn't really hurt us. You see the plus 27. But what he brings, guys, is something that, other players don't have outside of maybe Brunson and DiVincenzo. And that's the ability to stretch it from deep, right? He can be a couple feet beyond the 3-point line like we saw tonight, and he was still money. So that's going to be key. If he can continue to shoot it at 50% from 3, man, it's the Knicks in 6 at least, maybe even over in 5. Too, fam. So yeah, love the pickup. He's been playing great ball over the last, recent stretch towards the end of the season, fam. The experience shows that, he looks ready in the playoff, environment. He doesn't look shook. He doesn't hesitate. All of those things you love, fam. Yeah, what a great game. Hamilton, what's up? Appreciate it. What a great game it was, fam. To take game 1 is a big relief, and let's focus now on playing our best ball in the second game. AP, McBride certified gangster right now. 100%, man. That guy won't have to pay for another meal or a drink, I think, in New York City, fam. Especially when these playoff stretch is done, man. I think Deuce McBride is, he is him right now. He is him. And who would have thought after the high hopes of Quentin Grimes, a Quickly, the fact that we still have a Mitch, who was the OG rookie, coming in, and then a Deuce McBride playing like this, man, it makes you feel great about some of those draft picks that the Knicks hit on. as well with the player development too, fam. In terms of the trade, on a night where Alec Burks didn't play, hasn't been playing for a while now, but the trade was made because of Bogdanovic. Let's keep it a buck, right? Alec Burks, we were hoping to get a little bit more out of him, right? No one predicted how bad he was going to be, but thankfully the trade was still a win because we got a guy like a 20-point per game scorer in a Bogdanovic who was bad to start, but is starting to come good, right? In the nick of time, as they say, fam. And, it's timely because look at all the players coming off Philly's bench and look at the players coming off the Knicks bench. The Knicks bench clears, right, easily right now, outplaying them. To the point where we were clamoring for some bench players on the Knicks to come in and replace some of the starters who weren't playing great as well. So, yeah, to all the guys who thought the Knicks' depth was going to help the Knicks prevail, right? You deserve a salute because, yeah, you are on the money. You are on the money, fam, right now. Too. Yeah, outside of that, man, a lot of flowers were given out. We'll continue to go, man, and buzz after this big win. The Knicks win 111 to 104. Key rebounds, key threes late. A back and forth game, as you would expect in game one. But now, as we chop up the road ahead, guys, the adjustments are going to start. Nick Nurse, is a coach who's, coached big postseason stretches, fam. And of course, he's going to have some adjustments up his sleeve, right? But fortunately, we have Tom Thibodeau who prepares the Knicks better than anyone, and we'll be ready. Fam, we'll be ready. How do they counter a Deuce McBride, right? Do they start to guard him closer? Does that free up somebody else, right? Do they deploy the same tactic on a Jalen Brunson, right? If Hart keeps shooting it as 4 of 8, right, they're going to have to adjust on that at some point, right? If you keep leaving a Hart wide open, does that free up an OG Anunoby too, who could still play a better game as well? Does Isaiah Hartenstein bounce back and have a monster second game as well? All these storylines are going to be fascinating, but well and truly the upper hand is with the New York Knicks right now. I thought Philly played a pretty solid game, and if they had won, I would have tipped my cap. But it was the Knicks that won the game, not Philly losing. The Knicks won the ball game. We executed what we needed to late. But look, Tyrese Maxey, he's going to be a threat. He's going to be someone we have to stop. We have to slow down. And I think Deuce McBride is the key matchup on that. And let's talk about the refs, and then let's talk about Tibbs as well before we chop up the road ahead. No one else played any more minutes. 8-man rotation as we expected, fam, as well. Maybe if there was a little more foul trouble, Precious would have got some burn, right? And that leads me into Tibbs right now. I want to talk about Tibbs first, and then we'll talk about the officials, fam. But a key adjustment from Tibbs I want to talk about as I bring up Coach Tibbs right now, man. You guys are on point all night. Knicks Nation, we hear the best fan base in the biz, the best chat in the biz right now, rocking out after a playoff win, baby. This is what it's all about, fam. Tibbs smiling right now. One thing I wanted to say about Tibbs, man, remember when OG picked up his third foul? I thought, man, third foul or second foul early in the game. I thought, man, he kept OG in there as well. Normally the pragmatic Tom Thibodeau would have subbed OG out, but he kept OG in. So that was very, very interesting, and it worked out, I suppose, because the second quarter was great. The coach's challenge, he didn't hesitate to use one early. It was successful. Called timeouts at the right time. Benched DiVincenzo after some ghastly passing and some poor shooting. Adjusted, helped Deuce McBride close the game out as well. Kept Bogdanovic out there for a longer stretch. Yeah, I thought Tibbs coached a great game. Kept Mitch out there as well. A lot of those were clear adjustments, but Tibbs did it. We won the ball game. Too, fam. I'm gonna go with an A for Coach Tibbs. Tibbs adjustment game today. Let me know what you guys think, man. Early edge to Tibbs in this series. I think he did some good things tonight, man. Look, I love the faith of all the people that had faith in Deuce McBride, right? Put Tibbs at the very top, man. Tibbs might be the reason Deuce McBride is still here, right? We don't even know. But one of the reasons Deuce was drafted is because Tibbs, Tibbs wants a Tibbs guy. Deuce McBride is certainly that. In terms of the guard play, Tibbs has always thrived with guards who can penetrate, shoot, rim protecting centers as well. Also the faith that that Tibbs has had in Mitch goes back deep from years ago to fam. Mitchie's Tibbs' guy. He loves that rim protecting big, that rebounds, right? Mitch is Tibbs' guy, man. And I'm not surprised that Tibbs did not need any more reason to keep Mitch out there down the stretch as well to close this ball game out. I'm a little surprised he kept Bogdanovic out there as long as he did. But not because I don't think Bogdanovic deserved to stay out there. I just thought Tibbs would normally, go back to the other guys. But clearly he saw DiVincenzo struggle. DiVincenzo was getting caught gambling a little as well. And we haven't given out DiVincenzo's grade actually, so we will. But yeah, Devo had some struggles. Tibbs adjusted, fam. Neymar gives Tibbs an A+. I ain't mad at that, fam. Salute. Buzzer also with the A for Tibbs. Michael Drake says we must win one in Philly. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt it's going to be big to close the series out, but I think we can still win even if we don't. Yeah. Yeah, we're about to hit on Chenzo as well. It's to die for. I said he only had 8 points as well. I'm buzzing so much that, I glossed over Devo, which is my bad. That wasn't intentional at all. Right? I thought we hit on everyone, but yeah, deserving A from Tibbs. Let's talk about the officials after Devo. But what my thoughts on Devo right now is he's kind of an X factor right now. As crazy as that sounds, right? We win this ball game. We score 111 points. Mind you, after only scoring, we only had 25 points to end the first quarter. We still finished with a 111 as well. So really slow start. We only had about 15 points with a couple minutes to go in the first quarter. Guys were slow. Shots weren't falling. And the defense was tight. You could see guys a little bit nervous. DiVincenzo did some good things. I think more off the dribble. Made a nice play, made a layup. Hit a 3 in that first quarter to give us an 8-0 run. But then after that, he went missing with Devo. Let's look at his numbers, fam. 3 of 10 and 2 of 5 from deep. Minus 23, 8 points, 2 assists, and 2 rebounds from Devo. So, look, I thought he shot worse than he did, but 2 of 5 ain't bad. Normally he'd get more attempts up. Maybe he was a little more hesitant today with the defense tightening up. As I said, he looked his best when he made some plays off the dribble. But, 3 of 10. His biggest struggle was defensively for me. With minus 23, he was a part of every Philadelphia run. He was gambling a lot, and we were getting caught a bit. Does he have another down shooting night in the future? I could see that, but what he does outside of the shooting is going to be big for this team. He just needs to be solid defensively, not turn the ball over like he did, right? That started the Philadelphia run. Did the inbound turnover. He has to clean that up, right? So, in terms of that, right, made some plays, but you're poor defensively. Look, it's going to be tough, but I want to stay positive. I'm going to give Chenzo a C+. C+, because he did some solid things, but really down night for his standards, coming in. But look, Deuce McBride was able to step into his spot and thrive, But yeah, first game for Devo in the playoffs as a New York Knick, and look, he'll have to get up from this. It's only up from here. From Chenzo, probably one of his worst games of the season, really. Even though he's had some more inefficient shooting nights, he's normally not this bad defensively. Some C's coming through. Didn't do enough. Yep, didn't quite do enough. No doubt the playoffs do take away people's strengths as well. It's not always a player like sucked, or it was not like they really were that poor. Sometimes the other team just took away what we do, and other guys were able to step up. But with Chenzo shooting 2 of 5, it's not like that was too bad. But what I want to see is him be more aggressive. Shoot more, attack the closeouts, make some plays, make some things happen for other guys as well. But obviously he's got to be better defensively on that, fam, too. It's not like him to be in the minus by that much. Considering we won by 7 points, too, fam. But we're going to talk about the road ahead in just a second. But the officials, man, Scott Foster on the call, they did seem to get all of the challenge calls correct. They were a little ticky-tack, obviously, on the Embiid stuff. I can't really think of that many bad calls tonight. Let me know if you guys have any you want to shout out. But look, the officials, you know how I feel about them. They've been bad this season. I think the Knicks have gotten a really poor whistle in this lead up to the playoffs. But tonight I can't think of them changing the game so much. Certainly not as egregious as we've been seeing. Brunson, only 6 free throws, right? Could have gotten a couple more. Embiid was bailed out a few times as well. But yeah, we got the challenge calls correct with that. I'm going to give the officials a C. I'll give them a C for their performance. Let me know, guys, what you think about it. But now it's time to chop up the road ahead, fam. Now, after this performance tonight, right, the series has changed in more ways than one. You see Hart smash that 3 right now, like you guys are smashing the like button. Look at the space, right? Lowry, right? Disrespect right there. Disrespect. Closes out on Deuce, right? With Hart wide open. Hart shoots it. Oubre late on the closeout. Butter. Bang, as Mike Breen says, man. As I'll pop up more highlights on this. The Garden was popping. G-Men in the building. Celebrity row. Knicks fans worldwide, fam. Let's chop it up in terms of game 2 now. As I said earlier, I'll repeat. Guys who I think can play better will be Brunson, of course, Devo, Isaiah, OG Anunoby has more he can give, and that's just more juice for the Knicks. If the bench can sustain what they did tonight, that's going to be another key, right? Can Deuce, Miles, McBride continue to be that threat from deep? Bogey, like you see there, man, swishing that one in the second quarter, giving us 50% shooting from 3. And Hart, another rebound, pushing the break right now. Paul Reed, man, stuck in mud on that one. That was a good plan too. Once again, shout out to the guys who exploited the non-Embiid minutes, because that was big. Paul Reed, not a rim protector. It's important that the Knicks will have to attack when Embiid is off the floor, fam. And I like that we attacked Maxey as well, guys. Whether it was Bogdanovic backing him down, or whether it was whoever was on Maxey, was just feeding off of that matchup too. Look for OG to get active, I think, in Philadelphia as well on the road. OG's been really huge on the road for us, but also his finishing around the bucket was key tonight too. Was OG, his ability to be vertical and be a rim threat as well. But yeah, you just love what Hart was doing today with that. AP says, my sister live in Philly. I got to see who she's root for right now. Man, allegiances tied with that. Bruzza says they're double and Brunny. I want Tibbs to take advantage of their own player. Yeah, that's a great point. Obviously, they are heavily focusing on Brunson, and he did not have a good game, but that allowed other guys to get active too. David, what's good, fam? Great start, great win. Let's go, Knicks. Right, solid game overall in terms of the team and how it went, the outcome. I'm going to give it an A minus. Room for the A plus too. If we didn't have a letdown in that third quarter, when we're up 14 and we just closed it out, it would have been an A plus. But what happened allowed guys to, heroes to step up late in this stretch. Look at that shot from Hart. Man, getting loose, man. Giving me goosebumps with number 3 on his chest too. As Buzzer says, it's a great thing that Starks is in the game, in the building. Wall Street Dame, what's up? We won 4 out of 6 meetings now against Philly with the season series. With Embiid and Maxey having a good night, we had an off night, and our bench is deeper, and depth will determine this series. Yeah, great points. Yep, like we said, I think a lot of people on the Knicks would have been underestimated by Philly in terms of Deuce, Mitch, Bogdanovic, all these guys off our bench that were huge for us. That allowed us to win, even with Brunson struggling. So if you're Philly, you got to think like, oh shit, we have no margin for error right now, guys. We can only hold JB down for so long. We have to capitalize when he doesn't play well. Well, guess what? They didn't capitalize. Our bench stepped up, and we still won. But what we have to be mindful of, guys, is we're playing at home. Now, we can't afford lapses on the road, that's for sure. We can't afford to get a lead and then let them get back into the ball game. So let's put our foot on the gas in those situations. Look for the center rotation minutes to maybe split even more even, where, maybe Isaiah's playing, 20, 22. Maybe Mitch is playing 26. Who knows? After this, it's all about matchups in the playoffs. And look, Mitchie, the advantage goes to him after today because he's bigger, he's stronger around the rim. He's always been the biggest rim threat, the biggest block threat as well, man. 4 big blocks today. And great point by Michael. Game 2 is a must-win. No doubt about it, man. We have them against the ropes. We've got to come out swinging, and we've got to send them to the canvas right now. If we let Philly win Game 2, then it's, we've lost home court. We have to win one in Philly. We win Game 2, and Philly have all the pressure to win both in Philly. Right? It's simple as that, man. This series could be won or lost in this Game 2, fam. Right? We need to put foot on the throat and capitalize on the home court advantage, man. And Knicks Nation will be buzzing with winning both at MSG. That's how you take care of business, too. And salute to Orange and Blue Skies, fam. Playoff win in the books now. It feels great. Hamilton says Knicks fans are going to be in the building too in Philly, 100%. That's going to be a big factor too, fam. Yep. We're going to be great in Philly, and I think we've been great on the road all year. We've got road warriors on the squad, fam. But man, Deuce and Hart and Mitch, like guys who have embodied grittiness and toughness this season, have been guys that stepped up all season long when dudes went down, right? When guys went down, Deuce stepped it up, right? When Isaiah wasn't clicking tonight, Mitchie stepped up, right? When Randall went down, Josh Hart stepped up all season, playing minutes at the 4, playing minutes at the 2, 3, right? Guarding everybody, playing 40 plus minutes. I mean, Josh Hart is that luxury. You just, you take it, because a lot of these other teams don't have a Josh Hart, a guy who can guard 4 people, still crash the glass, still push the break, and score as well. But tonight, 4 of 8 from the field was incredible, deserving of his A++ performance from Josh, Mitchie, and Deuce, right? Bogey, 24 minutes, right? If I had told you guys before the game that Bogey played 24 minutes, that would have been a good sign for me. I would have told, if someone had told me that Bogdanovic plays 24 minutes in the first game, I would have said, all right, Tibbs has got him going, because Bogdanovic ain't playing 24 minutes if the Knicks are losing. If the Knicks are struggling, the Knicks ain't playing Bogey 24 minutes. So that was a good sign. Does he average more minutes than people expect? I could see that. Philly and all these teams, they're going to throw zone at us. They're going to throw blitz at Brunson. All the playoff matchups actually suit Bogdanovic, believe it or not. Because in the postseason, bad defense, right, it can be, punished, but the team defense steps up, and guys are rotating sharper and all of that. So normally one bad individual defender doesn't hurt you as much in the playoffs, in my opinion, because we got guys that are locked in, and and they didn't capitalize on Bogdanovic offensively. He held his own. He punished Maxey on the back down and the pull up 3 as well. So I'm super happy with that, and the bench today, man. Exclamation mark too. No Burks and no Chewy, like Buzzer says. I'm cool with the 8-man rotation now, because I think Deuce is deserving of 20 plus minutes. So is Bogey, and definitely Mitch is now. So that's covering all the gaps, fam. Obviously you got Hart, who can guard multiple positions, and so can OG too. Now Brunson's minutes, 41. That's kind of what I expected, but I won't be surprised if those minutes go up even more. Too. Deuce had it going tonight, so there wasn't any real rush to get Brunson back into the game real quickly. Gentleman sweep. That's a real question right now, fam. 1 game in the books. I'm trying to keep a lid on things, man. But I will happily buy into the gentleman sweep if we win game 2, fam. Win game 2, and then I think we can pull one out in Philly, and then we can close things out, fam, in game 6. In game 5, sorry. Yep. This is a true Tom Thibodeau kind of matchup. This Philly matchup, really. Grind you down, defense first, right? Couple guys on either team that can hit shots, but a lot of grittiness too. And I think no doubt we're the healthiest squad. We can grind them down with Embiid struggling the way he is. See, look at Embiid there, man. Yep. Let me pull this back again. Look at Embiid on this this closeout attempt. Look, he didn't even try, man. He can't move. He cannot move right now. He cannot move very well. We need to move him around. See Mitchie there on the putback because Paul Reed was out of the play, man. Paul Reed, great work from Hart. Again, taking it straight down Broadway, right? Knowing that there's no Embiid there. And look, he's finishing over Harris and Paul Reed. And Mitchie there for the putback. Mitchie follows the play there, doesn't give up, doesn't quit. And then Hart, left wide open, pump fake. Lowry goes for the strip like he normally does, man. All money for number 3, man. All Hart. You love it, man. Big plays down the stretch. True New York Knicks basketball, playoff ball down the stretch. A from Tibbs. Solid game, won the matchup today. What do you guys think Philly's going to do in Philly? Do you think they're going to try anything new, anything different? Their best bet might be go small ball if Embiid's more hampered. Paul Reed ain't the answer for Philly. Batum, we turned the water off Nick Batum today as well. That was good. I didn't think Oubre hurt us offensively. Defensively, Oubre was very good. Oubre will continue to be that pest. Lowry, you think Lowry got hot tonight? You think, can he do that again? Is Lowry going to have another game like this? Right, we can't let that happen, but I don't think it's likely. I think this might have been Lowry's game. He plays well on the road. He's experienced. But yeah, Embiid's knees won't... Right, what we're seeing, man. Think about games 5, even if it gets to there, 5, 6, 7. It's going to be pressure on them, man. Very, very strange play where he, tried the alley-oop to himself. He double dribbled as well. Yeah, a lot of folliness from Embiid, turning the ball over late. Too. I gotta peep the turnovers too, because I want to see who had more turnovers. 11 apiece. So pretty solid for a tight playoff game. 11 turnovers apiece. So both teams were decent with the ball. I think both teams did foul a lot though today. As Knicks crushed it in the fast break points, fam. Look at that. 11 fast break points to Philly. 27 fast break points for New York. Man, shout out to Deuce, Bogey, and Hart getting active on the fast break. 2 second chance points. Philly with just 4, and New York with 26 second chance points, man. Huge. But of course, points in the paint. Philadelphia won that with 46. So Embiid was dynamite early in this ball game, man. 9 straight points to start the game. Right, I was starting to get a headache, but after that, everyone locked in, and the bench came in and changed that ball game, man. One of the best second quarters of the season, fam. I kept the faith. And look, if we out-rebound them by 20, this thing is over in 5. Fam, best believe that. To Die For says the difference maker for Philly lies with Harris, Buddy Hield, campaign on getting going. All 3 players combined for just 7 points. 100%. That's a great point. Role players are hit and miss sometimes. I think I'm more inclined to look at the sample of a larger sample, and I think campaign has been very ineffective this season. Buddy Hield's been pretty average. I think Tobias Harris has been an enigma his entire career as well. They might go off for one game in the series, but that shouldn't be enough, I think, to change it. I think Philly's only hope now of winning this series is to get 4 excellent games from Embiid and from Maxey. The New York Knicks just will not allow them to win a game unless Maxey and Embiid both have monster games, right? Because we're just too good defensively, right? It's going to have to be Maxey goes off for 35-40 and Embiid goes off for 30 at least, right? 60 points has to come from both of those two guys for 4 games if Philly's to win this series, man. And, after what we saw tonight with Embiid, man, it's looking grim for them. We've got some scores happening too. Denver and LA right now. Looks like Denver's up 96-83 in that matchup. Well, yep. I think Denver should close them out in 5, really, 5 or 6. Buzzer says the key to victory is our rebounding. Every game we have a good rebounding margin, we win. Yep, no doubt about that, fam. I think 3-point shooting as well. To bust the zone, to beat the trap, all of those things, fam. Make shots, and the defense has to sag back, right? The defense has to react, is what I mean, fam. 34% from 3 from Philly versus a 45.7% from the New York Knicks. Now you look at that and you say, all right, Hart shot above his average from 3, and that might not happen a lot. But then you look at Jalen Brunson, who shot well below their 3. You look at DiVincenzo, who only shot 2 of 5. Bogdanovic, 50%. OG, 1 of 3. Deuce McBride obviously caught fire as well. So, yeah, look, if the Knicks can continue to shoot 40%, I think that's gonna be the game changer against Philly's defense. Because Embiid wants to drop back. Don't forget, Embiid don't want to come up anywhere near the perimeter. He want to sag off and protect the rim. So we have to capitalize on that. Swing the ball around, drive, kick, and all of those things. And I think we'll be Gucci, fam, for the rest of this series, fam. But yeah, great first game. Good to get the first taste of this action, the series, and I think we'll come away right the clearer favourites for me. Obviously, they say the series don't win until somebody wins on the road, though. So we've got to take care of game 2. Right, let's have a better performance, a better showing offensively. And then we take our lunch pail into Philly, fam. We catch the express. We head into Philly, where we've had a lot of success from this season, guys. OG Anunoby now, right? I'm not even going to say it. You guys tell me, what is our record with OG Anunoby in the starting lineup? Fam, give it to me. Give it to me. What's the New York Knicks record now with OG in the lineup, man? It's no novelty anymore. It's no mindless stat. It's legit. We are scary with OG in the squad, and we're a team who is riding high with chemistry. We're locked in. We've got all 5 guys on the court locked in defensively. If we hit shots, we're special. Fam, we are special, fam. Yeah, appreciate Rory for that. 21-3. 21-3. That's huge, fam. And that is close to unbeatable, man. That's a 90% win percentage, man. Like, and not just a tiny sample either. That's a big sample, fam. That's 24 ball games, fam. You got a 90% chance to win 24 ball games, fam. So, he's just that player that's so unusual. He's a throwback because some of the things on the box score don't jump out at you, but OG is just a winning player. Hit the big 3 late towards the stretch, right? That's what you need. You don't need OG to shoot loads of 3s. When you need someone you can bank on standing there with an open shot to hit it, man, and he hits it. You know what I mean? And then defensively, he can guard everybody. He can be all over the place. Probably the one guy that he can struggle with is a Tyrese Maxey. But it's a good thing we have a Deuce McBride for that matchup, fam. Right. 21-3. Yep. We're buzzing right now. With OG. His physicality is needed. I love the play early where he set the tone. He ran to the rim. I thought forced the issue, got fouled, but wasn't called. And then we were called for the offensive interference. But just those kind of plays is what we miss from a Randall. A guy who can charge to the rim, take it strong, and force the issue to the defense too. So we need to see a little bit more of that from OG. But yeah, the shot making is big, and the defense too. The Sixers, AP says, jumping on the Tobias Harris blaming. Tobias needs to come on home. With that, Tobias, man, I don't know. I think he's out of Philly, but he's earning a lot of money, you know. So he's kind of like, I mean, I don't really see any difference between Bogdanovic. Bogdanovic is earning 20 mil, but Tobias Harris is earning 30 mil. And you kind of expect more out of that, you know, but I think he's not a great fit either because Embiid holds the ball up a lot. A lot of the focus is on Embiid and a lot of the focus is on Maxey. You know, Tobias Harris is kind of like a fit-wise, like RJ Barrett was a fit with the New York Knicks, you know. Needs the ball more to be more effective. Is playing with two ball-dominant guys as well and just has to be a spot-up. You know, has to wait for his opportunities, be a spot-up shooter, close out on the shooters, attack the shooters and all of that. But I think Philly's depth is where they might lose this series, fam, as well as Embiid's health, of course. But as I said, if they don't get 30-point games from Maxey and Embiid every single game, I can't see them winning 4 games in the series. And if they do, it's going to be because of Oubre went off or Lowry or somebody like that. But yeah, I root for New York players. Yeah, appreciate that, man. Long Island zone. Yeah, we shouted out Harris a bit earlier, but yeah, he's been inconsistent for Philly. But he gets, yeah, I think you're criticized according to your pay as well. Evan Fournier, you know, like if Evan Fournier was on mid-level, if he was on you know, veterans minimum, I don't think anyone would have any issue. You know, it was just a move that didn't work out. But yeah, Fournier was on 18, 19 mil, so I think he copped a little bit more heat. Now, if you're Tobias, you're on 30 mil. Yeah, Philly fans want him to do more, right? To step up. But we stepped up. We took the dub, and it's advantage. New York Knicks, baby. In this game, the Knicks pulled it out with fire, determination, and grit. Right, despite going down multiple times in this ball game, despite not the best game from our leader, but we still closed it out in style with 3-point shots, offensive rebounds, and tough defense, fam. This has been a record season, and man, the fun is just starting, baby. This is a deep playoff run in the making. I'm hyped. I'm ready for game 2. Let's play it right now, fam. I think these guys could go another 48 too. Maybe not Mitch, but I'm ready for game 2. And look, a lot more players can step up. Guys who did step up tonight can replicate that as well. I want to see what Tibbs does. I want to see what Nick Nurse can do as well. But doesn't look good for Joel Embiid's health moving forward in this series, man. Tyrese Maxey, the young shoulders of him, the Philadelphia Sixers' success rests on them, right? If we can slow Maxey down, right, this will be a short series. 2, Deuce McBride, one of the biggest factors now in this series. Game ball, A++, fam. What a hero he was tonight. And can't wait to see what he does next, fam. I appreciate you, chat. Great buzz tonight. We'll talk soon. We'll get after it in game 2. Go New York, go. Peace.